Hello, I'm Misa Jeffereis. I'm Assistant Curator at CAM, and I also had the great honor of being Curator of this year's Great Rivers Biennial. The GRB is in its 9th edition, made possible through the long-term support and collaboration of the Gateway Foundation. The GRB is a really special award. It's really near and dear to our hearts here in St. Louis, and I'm so proud to have been a part of it. It not only shines a light on the rich artistic production here in the region, but it also provides 3 artists with the resources and the opportunity to make new work for a solo show at the museum. This year we enlisted 3 stellar colleagues from across the country to review the applications and to select our winners. I'd like to say a big thank you to Christopher Y. Liu, Jose Carlos Diaz, and Amanda Ross Ho, who so thoughtfully reviewed the applications, came to St. Louis to conduct studio visits with the 10 finalists, and ultimately selected our winners, who this year are Kahlil Robert Irving, Tim Portlock, and Rachel Youn. Over the past year, the curatorial team and I have been working with the artists to produce their exhibitions at the museum, and I'm so pleased with how ambitious they were. From Kahlil's multiple bodies of work and one of his largest vinyl prints to date, to Rachel's 40 thrashing kinetic sculptures, to Tim's 13-foot wide print with extraordinary detail in every inch. I'm so thrilled to have helped these artists to envision their exhibitions at the museum. So Tim, Kahlil, and Rachel, congratulations. You should be very proud of what you've done here. I can't wait to see how the work lives on in the museum. And lastly, I'd like to say a big thank you to the entire staff at CAM who helped make this exhibition possible, especially Lisa, Wesson, Jen, and our amazing installation crew.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Ross Ho, and I'm an artist and a professor at the University of California, Irvine. I had the pleasure of co-jurying this year's Great Rivers Biennial exhibition at CAM. The world is a very different place than it was back in March of 2019 when we first began the process of reviewing the work of over 80 St. Louis area artists to identify a stellar shortlist of 10 and eventually our 3 biennial artists. That June, we drove through rain and shine to visit an amazing range of studios and warehouses, apartments, industrial buildings, and storefronts. It's been a long, wonderful journey, and now the show is here, and a few thank yous are in order. Thanks go to everyone at CAM for creating and hosting this amazing program. Thank you to my co-jurors, Jose Diaz and Christopher Liu. I think we made a very good team, guys. Thank you to all the artists who applied and who also opened their studios and shared their remarkable work with us. And of course, I'd like to congratulate Kahlil Robert Irving, Tim Portlock, and Rachel Youn, our amazing biennial artists. Thank you so much for your work and your commitment to this exhibition through unprecedented and tumultuous times. I will miss celebrating with you all in person this week, but I'm very proud to have been part of this program, and it's been an honor to work with you all. Thank you so much, and congratulations, everyone.
Hello, I'm Jose Diaz, Chief Curator at the Andy Warhol Museum in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm one of this year's jurors for the Great Rivers Biennial 2020. I'd like to thank Misa Jeffereis for organizing this biennial, and I'd like to congratulate the 3 artists that are presenting in the 2020 Great Rivers Biennial, Kahlil Robert Irving, Tim Portlock, and Rachel Youn. I really enjoyed meeting you and visiting your studio, and I really feel that this will be a very strong representation of your work, but also a strong representation of work that needs to be seen at this moment in time. I loved your ambition, your passion, your creativity, and the timeliness of your work, and I look forward to seeing you again in person, and I really feel that people will respond positively to your exhibition. Congratulations.
I'd like to congratulate Kahlil, Tim, and Rachel on their new exhibition for the Great Rivers Biennial. Such an honor to be on the jury for it, and I'm so sorry that I can't be there in person to celebrate with you all and to really enjoy the work and the show that you put together with Misa and the rest of the CAM team. I imagine that the real strength of the work really is in those nuances that you appreciate in person, from Kahlil's sculptures with all their amazing surface and weight and texture, Tim's photographs and the sheer scale and detail within those images, and also just the limpid, humorous, awkward movements of Rachel's work. You all should be super proud of what you've put together and accomplished, especially during such a difficult year. I just want to congratulate you again.
Hello, my name is Rachel Youn, and I will be participating in the 2020 Great Rivers Biennial exhibition at CAM this fall. I'm really thrilled to be able to share this work with you. I had no idea that a year ago I would be creating basically a big dance party with all of my kinetic sculptures. And I hope that you'll be able to experience this, I don't know, like a sense of joy and the feeling of being in a crowd and kind of this like social gathering of objects. Given that it's not something I'll really be able to do for a while, given everything that's happening. I'd like to thank a few people. Kevin Harris, who helped me just engineer all of the technical parts of this show. I'd like to thank Godspod for creating the amazing, amazing dance track that's part of this exhibition. And I'd also like to thank Ryan, my partner, for all of his support and expertise. And of course, I'd like to thank Cam, the entire staff, for making this show happen in the first place. It's truly an honor getting to show at Cam this fall, and I hope you enjoy the show.
It's a great pleasure to welcome you all to the walkthrough here at the museum. My name is Kahlil Robert Irving, and it is a great, exciting moment to be able to share with everyone my work and installation entitled At Dusk here at the Contemporary Art Museum, St. Louis, for the 2020 Great Rivers Biennial exhibition. I've been coming to the Contemporary Art Museum since 2007. I grew up in St. Louis, and it is such a pleasure to be able to see my work in the galleries where I've been able to see so many artists throughout history on the museum walls and exhibiting on the same concrete floor where my sculptures are resting. I entitled the exhibition At Dusk because it talks about the transitory space in the time of day between the hustle and bustle of the working hours and the relaxing moments in the evening at home or in a way at rest. But dusk is a complex period where many things are happening at the same time in regards to or in reflection of this sense of transition or liminal space between one experience of the day to another, even for our own personal livelihoods. Each work is going to take you through a transitory experience of replication, seriality, and speed. Or they may slow you down, or some of the works move quite fast. I hope you enjoy the exhibition, and it's been a pleasure to work with Misa and Jan and everyone at the museum. Look forward to a time when we can get together in person, and I hope you enjoy the exhibition.
Thank you for taking the time to come to this exhibition. I know that everyone is being extremely judicious about where they visit these days, and I appreciate that you have decided to see the work of the artists in this exhibition, including my own. I'm really excited to finally have this work out in the wild. My thanks to the Contemporary Art Museum of St. Louis curators Misa Jeffereis, Wasan Al-Kudhiri, the director Lisa Melandri, and the registrar Jen Nugent. They have been extremely hardworking, patient, and creative during these really challenging times. Thank you to the jurors, Jose Carlos Diaz, Chief Curator at the Andy Warhol Museum, Christopher Y. Liu, Curator at the Whitney Museum of American Art, and artist Amanda Ross Ho. Thanks to all of you for awarding me with the resources and support to make the kind of work that would not otherwise have been possible. 13 years ago, I began making landscape images that contained the empty and abandoned buildings that pervaded my recently adopted city of Philadelphia. Initially, this work began as a way of documenting my own changing perception and relationship to my new city. Very quickly, I began to realize that these buildings were artifacts, each designed to accommodate the distinct set of social relationships of their particular eras. The densely packed row homes and decaying industrial warehouses were the remains of bygone ideas about family, social life, and working. Not long after I started making this work, the economic collapse of 2008 became arguably the main focus of popular attention. This event was triggered by activity around home ownership, an aspiration that is a bedrock value of American identity. I started incorporating the visual conventions of 19th century American landscape painting into my images of contemporary Philadelphia. These conventions included sublime skies suggesting God in a wild, often uninhabited landscape were all meant to signify and reinforce specific ideas about the American identity. Rugged individualism and manifest destiny are some of the ideas that have their moorings to the notions expressed through this visual language. Using these conventions are a way for me to access these ideas, which are still very much present, and to compare them to the current lived reality. I started conceiving of the work in this exhibition on the 10th anniversary of the 2008 collapse. I had been thinking about my own work from that time and how the cities they described have evolved. Numerous building cranes are ubiquitous features of the skylines of most large to mid-sized American cities. The buying, selling, and construction of houses is occurring at an aggressive clip. Today, when the media mentions 2008, it's only as a counterpoint to the current hyper-optimistic times many of us left behind in spring 2020. All the subject matter of my current work often depicts construction sites and new buildings. I am still thinking about what types of lives the structures of these buildings imagine and for whom. I am also interested in how the hyperactivity around the buying and selling of real estate as a measure of optimism and social health is utterly detached from the profound anxiety that many people have been experiencing even before COVID and the most recent series of state murders of unarmed Black people. Thank you again for coming to see this exhibition.